Hello again everyone and welcome back to Dragon Age Inquisition. We are back here in Haven and we are going to pop inside and just check the shop here. Yes. See if he actually has any good weapons which we can buy. Does not look like it in the slightest. It all looks pretty dreadful. I mean, why are you even open? Why are you here? Why do you exist, sir? In the politest way possible, you are absolutely useless. Anyway, I believe this is just a special shipment, isn't it? Yeah, which always seems to pop up every time we come back to Haven, but you can't actually do anything with it. It's very strange. Thank you. So can we actually ask anybody else about more stuff? Like, we spoke to Cassandra in the last episode. I think we already asked him about everything about Hawk.
Tale of the champion, and I have a few questions.
That's a pretty common reaction. Go ahead.
No, nothing else to ask about Hawk. Well, anything else?
Need something?
I have a personal question.
Can I ask you something, Varric?
You want to talk about me? I'm flattered.
Yep, I heard about this.
Inclined toward extravagant lies.
That's all, yeah. So it doesn't seem like there's anything else much to talk about right now. Unless there's anything else about Red
I
Lyrium.
want to know more about Red Lyrium.
I'll tell you what I can.
Oh, everything.
I think that's enough on Red Lyrium.
So I'm going to assume...
Not really my favorite subject.
I'm going to assume that nobody else has anything really to say either. I must just miss the stuff with Cassandra, mainly. We'll check with... Are there more requisitions here? Just tell someone to piss off. This puzzle serves as entertaining diversions for Inquisition, so that's meant to bring useful trade. We need 5 obsidian for that. We've got everything else, but we just need 5 obsidian. Cool. Liliana.
Did you need something?
Tell me about yourself, yeah.
Let's talk about you.
Me?
You. Got any stories?
Bards
Yeah.
tell tales. I bet you tell some good ones.
There are plenty of tales in the library. Perhaps you should look for them there.
Tell me about your past.
What did you
Ooh.
do before you worked for the Divine?
I was a bard, an Orlesian spy for many years. For a time I also served a small cloister in Lothering. After the Blight, the Divine called on me to oversee her personal network.
I'd like to be a bard.
Teach me to be a bard.
Being a bard is so much more than being a spy. It involves a keen understanding of politics, the ebb and flow of influence, the great game. The Bards is an intricate dance where a smile can be sharper than any dagger. The best way to learn is to immerse yourself in it. Perhaps when this is all over, I'll teach you.
Perhaps.
I leave you to your work.
We can always talk later.
I would very much... Oh, Codex. The perils of bard life. Oh, what the hell is happening here? What the shit?
Lies. Your kind let her die. Shut your mouth, mate!
Enough!
Whoa!
My captain!
That is not my title. We are not Templars any longer. We are all part of the Inquisition.
And what does that mean?
Oh,
exactly?
fuck off, Roderick.
Back
Like, come on.
already, Chancellor. Haven't you done enough?
I'm curious, Commander, as to how your Inquisition and its herald will restore order as you've promised.
Of course you are. Back to your duties, all of you.
So, there's a nice bit of a scuffle there, between the Templars and Mages, as per usual. Alright, let's check our tales then. What was it? The Perils of Bard Life, I believe it was. There we go. As a bard, you are welcome anywhere in Orlais. Doors are open to you with generous smiles. Their wearer is confident that no one would falsely pretend to such a title for fear of retribution. Your slightest request is immediately seen to. Your services are expensive and yet actively sought, and those who cannot afford them beg only to not have your displeasure turned their way. One day, however, you will awaken. You will realize the smiles are false, and behind them lies revenge. At the first moments of weakness, your brother and sister bards will be unleashed upon you like a pack of hounds, and you'll realize that they are not your brothers and sisters at all. For all your fancy intrigue, you have spent your life creating nothing of worth. You have been swallowed by the web of your own deceits, and the game of which you believe yourself master, it moves on without you, uncaring. From a letter signed Sister Nightingale. which is obviously Leliana. So, Cullen. What's happening here?
Mages and Templars were already at war. Now they're blaming each other for the Divine's death.
Which is why we require a proper authority to guide them back to order.
Who? You? Random clerics who weren't important enough to be at the Conclave?
The Rebel Inquisition and its so-called Herald of Andraste.
The Rebel Inquisition. What are we rebelling against here exactly? The Chantry? Yeah, why can't we work together?
So far, you're the only one who's insisted we can't work together.
We might, if your Inquisition would recognize the Chantry's authority.
There is no authority until another Divine is chosen.
In due time, Andraste will be our guide, not some dazed wanderer on a mountainside.
Jesus.
Remind me, why are you allowing the Chancellor to stay?
Clearly, your Templar knows where to draw the line.
He's toothless. There's no point turning him into a martyr simply because he runs at the mouth. The Chancellor's a good indicator of what to expect in Val Royeaux, however.
Oh, lovely.
How widespread is the violence between mages and Templars?
Impossible to say.
Your organization flouting the Chantry's authority will not help matters.
With the Conclave destroyed, I imagine the war between mages and Templars is renewed with interest.
The mages and Templars are fighting, even though we don't know what really happened at the Temple of Sacred Ashes.
Exactly why all this should be left to a new divine. If you are innocent, the Chantry will establish it as so.
Or we'll be happy to use someone as a scapegoat.
You think
Exactly.
nobody cares about the truth? We all grieve Justinia's loss.
But you won't grieve if the Herald of Andraste is conveniently swept under a carpet.
Ah, good old Cullen. I'll return with good news,
I'll make
yeah.
sure they see reason in Val Royeaux.
I pray you're right.
That sounds like we're gonna be going to Val Royeaux at some point in this game. That sounds interesting. I've heard a lot about the place, but never actually been there in any game. So, what were we doing? We could go and talk to Solus quickly. Actually, he's the only one we haven't actually tried to speak to. I don't think he had much more to say last time, but you never know. He might have something, and if he does, then I'd like to hear it. He's an interesting person. Tell me about yourself,
I'd
yeah.
like to know more about you, Solus.
Why?
Why? I respect you, yeah.
You're an apostate. Yet you risked your freedom to help the Inquisition.
Not the wisest course of action when framed that way.
I appreciate the work you're doing, Solus. I just wanted to know more about you.
I'm sorry. With so much fear in the air. What would you know of me?
What made you start studying the Fade?
I grew up in a village to the north. There was little to interest a young man, especially one gifted with magic. But as I slept, spirits of the Fade showed me glimpses of wonders I had never imagined. I treasured my dreams. Being awake, out of the Fade, became troublesome.
That sounds dangerous, yeah.
Spirits try to tempt you.
No more than a brightly colored fruit is deliberately tempting you to eat it. I learned how to defend myself from more aggressive spirits, and how to interact safely with the rest. I learned how to control my dreams with full consciousness. There was so much I wanted to explore.
I gather you didn't spend your entire life dreaming.
No. Eventually, I was unable to find new areas in the Fade.
Why?
2 reasons. First, the Fade reflects the world around it. Unless I traveled, I would never find anything new. Second, the Fade reflects and is limited by our imaginations. To find interesting areas, one must be interesting.
You're interesting.
Is this why you joined the Inquisition?
I joined the Inquisition because we were all in terrible danger. If our enemies destroyed the world, I would have nowhere to lay my head while dreaming of the Fade.
Yeah, you've got a point.
I wish you luck.
Thank you. In truth, I've enjoyed experiencing more of life to find more of the Fade.
How so?
You train to flick a dagger or an arrow to its target. The grace with which you move is a pleasing sight, then. You have chosen a path whose steps you do not dislike because it leads to a destination you enjoy. As have I.
That's a nice way to put it, yeah.
You said you traveled to many different places.
Solus literally approves of you asking any question at all.
Reflected in the fade. Dream in ancient ruins, and you may see a city lost to history. Some of my fondest memories were found in crumbling cities, long picked dry by treasure seekers, the best of the battlefields. Spirits press so tightly on the veil that you can slip across with but a thought.
Which battlefields, yeah.
Any place in particular?
I dreamt Ostagar. I witnessed the brutality of the Darkspawn and the valor of the Ferelden warriors. I saw Alistair and the hero Ferelden light the signal fire, and Logain's infamous betrayal.
Oh, it's still in my mind.
I've heard the stories. It would be interesting to hear what it was really like.
That's just it. In the Fade, I see reflections created by spirits who react to the emotions of the warriors. One moment, I see heroic wardens lighting the fire, and a power-mad villain sneering as he lets King Cailan fall. The next, I see an army overwhelmed and a veteran commander refusing to let more soldiers die in a lost cause.
You can't tell which is real.
It is the Fade. They are all real.
Ah, so it's two different sides of the story, but they're all like manifested into one.
Have you always traveled and
That's
studied
quite
alone?
scary, that is, actually.
Not at all. I have built many lasting friendships. Spirits of wisdom, possessed of ancient knowledge, happy to share what they had seen. Spirits of purpose helped me search. Even wisps, curious and playful, would point out treasures I might have missed.
I don't know of any spirits by those names.
They rarely seek this world. When they do, their natures do not often survive exposure to the people they encounter. Wisdom and purpose are too easily twisted to pride and desire.
You're saying that you became friends with Pride and Desire demons?
They were not demons for me.
Meaning?
The Fade reflects the minds of the living. If you expect a spirit of wisdom to be a pride demon, it will adapt. And if your mind is free of corrupting influences, if you understand the nature of the spirit, they can be fast friends.
It's very deep, the Fade, isn't it? When you bring everything into it.
I'm impressed that
Amazing,
you
yeah.
can become friends with spirits.
Anyone who can dream has the potential. Few ever try. My friends comforted me in grief and shared my joy. Yet, because they exist without form, as we understand it, the Chantry declares that spirits are not truly people. Is Cassandra defined by her cheekbones and not her faith? Varric by his chest hair and not his wit?
Spirits lack free will, yeah.
Spirits are bound by their nature. You said it yourself. They're shaped by contact with real people.
Just as Liliana was shaped by contact with divine Justinian. As those who serve the Inquisition are shaped by you. If I change your mind in this conversation, does that mean you're no more real than a spirit?
You've thought about this.
On occasion, yes.
But we have the choice to change our minds. We can let our minds be changed. Some people are more open, gullible, and stubborn than others, but those are three conflicting statements there. But
We'll talk later.
spirits are purely bound by real life, so they don't have free will. They are based on what other people are doing, while you can block other people out if you truly want to. So I don't agree with Solus there, but I do agree that spirits, not all of them, should be just, made to look evil or whatnot. Oh, Mother Giselle. Hello there.
Greetings, Herald of Andraste. How fares your quest to seal the breach?
I'm trying, yeah.
Doing everything within my power.
A task such as closing the breach is a heavy burden. I hope you do not carry it alone. We remember Andraste, but Andraste did not carry the Chant of Light alone. She had generals, advisors, even her husband for a time. Do everything within your power, but remember those who would help you.
Thank you, yeah.
I appreciate your insight, Mother Giselle.
Take it for whatever it is.
I put a lot of faith into my companions in these games. A lot of them.
Little enough I can do to aid you. In any case, I pray this Inquisition proves less brutal than its predecessor.
Do you know who the Grand Clerics will choose as the next Divine?
It is a difficult decision. All the obvious candidates perished with Divine Justinia at the Conclave. The Grand Clerics are terrified of the Inquisition. They will not decide soon, and I fear they will not decide wisely. Whoever is chosen needs the Inquisition's support. No one else seems likely to seal the breach.
How are the people doing after what happened at the Conclave?
They are scared, of course. Many have lost homes or loved ones. I doubt many will sleep well until you have sealed the breach. I have offered what help I can. The rest is for the Inquisition. What more do you wish to know?
How are the villagers in Haven doing?
They are terrified. Many of them came here because the war between the Mages and the Templars destroyed their homes. In their minds, the death of a Divine has destroyed any chance of peace. To that,
There's always a chance.
Farmers have fled their fields. If we do not restore order, half of Thedas may starve.
It is a lot of anarchy just rolled into one, really, isn't it?
What are you doing to help these people?
My sisters and I have been tending to the injured as best we are able. Some refugees come with food, while others arrive empty-handed. I have helped ensure that all have enough to eat. Beyond that, many simply wish the familiar comfort of the Chant of Light. It is little enough work to offer some comfort to those in pain.
Well, you are helping, and I do appreciate that a lot.
Do you have information on people elsewhere?
The refugees in the hinterlands are desperate. Without help, starvation or war will claim many lives. Villagers in Crestwood are besieged by their own dead.
Their own
They have
dead?
sent word begging for assistance.
Oh, shit.
People are vanishing in the hills of Emporium de Lyon. It may be demons or something worse, but they are terrified. More than that, I cannot say. It is a chaotic time for all.
So basically, we're all screwed.
Farewell.
That's the general gist of things right now. She did have other things to say.
I greet you.
Let's talk about the Chantry, yeah.
I don't believe I've had the chance to speak candidly with a revered mother. Can you tell me about the Chantry?
I presume you mean deeper questions about the organization itself. I trust the Chantry at Ostwick taught you the basics.
What is your stance on magic?
Andraste put it simply. Magic must serve man, not rule over him. However, those words must be put into the proper historical context. Andraste led a rebellion against the Tevinter Imperium, whose magisters controlled most of the world at the time. Even then, she never called for all mages to be put to death. She believed in peaceful coexistence.
I don't recall the Chantry being as tolerant of magic as you describe.
No. The Chantry is an imperfect vessel, pulled in every direction by those who would steer its course. Yet the Templars rebelled precisely because Divine Justinia was not restrictive enough. Perhaps the Inquisition will find a better way.
I certainly hope so.
Why does the Chantry allow only human women to become priestesses?
The official doctrine is that elves and dwarves have turned further from the Maker than humanity. And as for men, the chant holds that they are more vulnerable to anger or passion.
That is...
But in truth, it is simply political.
Hmm.
Added after Andraste's death, like too many of our beliefs.
That is slightly judgmental.
If you don't believe these restrictions are what Andraste wanted, why haven't you tried to change them?
Has the current state of the world not taught you the folly of fighting too many battles at once? I chose to use what power I had to help peasants forgotten by the nobles of Orlais. I believed there would be time to address their inequality under the Chantry once we had saved them from starving.
What about exalted marches, yeah.
There were calls for an exalted march to put down the Mage Rebellion. What was your opinion?
It was ignorant gossip. An exalted march only succeeds when it carries the will of the people. Even then, it cannot be undertaken lightly. People are too easily frightened. We cannot destroy everything they fear. An exalted march is justified only against a true threat to this whole world. It is an offense to the Maker to use it as a political bludgeon, or as a means of spreading the chant of light.
What about the exalted march that conquered the elves?
That is a hotly debated matter in some circles of the Chantry. The elves had conquered Montsemard and threatened Val Rayo itself.
They were not helpless victims. But even then, Orlais was the only nation to provide troops. It was hardly an exalted march of all the faithful. The Maker wishes his world to spread by example, not by war. We win no converts with blood.
Farewell.
That's a fair point.
Maker go with you.
I totally agree with everything you're saying, Giselle.
Greetings,
Absolutely.
Herald of Andraste.
Like Inquisition history, that'd be
Can you tell me
interesting.
about the original Inquisition?
The original Inquisition was formed after the First Blight, well before the Chantry as we know it. The Inquisitors were hunters, zealots, who tracked and killed cultists and dangerous mages. As Andraste rose to power, the Inquisition came into her service. Instead of hunting those who would do harm, the Inquisitors spread the chant of light by force.
That's horrible, yeah.
It must be difficult to follow the chant of light knowing how it spread.
Indeed. I have always believed that the Maker wished us to spread the chant of light by example, not violence. In any case, once the chant of light had spread far and wide, there was less need for zealots. The Inquisitors became the seekers of truth, and eventually the Templars.
This is a dark chapter of history for the Divine to revisit.
Do you know what impresses me most about the original Inquisition? They fought horrific battles, killed and died for their cause, and when it was time, they put their swords away. Perhaps the name was divine, Justinia's message, that when the Inquisition is needed, it will strike without mercy. But when its work is done, it will put its sword away.
Anything else about the
Can you
people?
tell me how our people are doing?
What would you like to know?
Yeah, so it's just general.
Farewell.
Maker go with you.
That's probably like a status update, which you can do every now and then. Can I help with anything? Yeah.
Is there anything I can do to help you or your people?
My healers would benefit from more supplies. We have run short of even common goods with so many wounded.
Well, I have got.
If you could
I've
deliver
got a
this list
few
and the items on it to Quartermaster
things.
Thren, she could get us what we need. It may not seem like much, but it would enable my healers to save many lives.
Thank you.
Farewell.
Farewell.
Oh well, I've already got Bloodlords and Elfroot, so I may as well go and quickly turn that in now while I'm here. Thren is quite close by, I think. Yeah, she's right there. Here you go, Thren.
Nice work with those supplies. The smiths can use them to fit our troops with better gear. Might not affect you much, but our recruits will have better chances next time some monster flies out of a rift.
That's fair. Hold on, what?
Farewell.
Make her go with you.
Sorry. I'm very, very confused there. In a circle. That's just a companion quest, isn't it? That must be a haven thing. Deliver the herbs to Thren. Oh, do I have to use the... Ah, there we go. Grabs item. Boom. There we go. Some more influence for us. Right, so I think we're going to end this episode here, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed. If you have, then please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I'll catch you in the next episode of Dragon Age Inquisition. Wow, I had a brain dead moment there. So thank you. See you later, guys. Bye bye.